Hello, my name is Catherine Jane Fisher. I am an Australian citizen and a permanent resident of Japan since the 1980s. I am author of I Am Catherine Jane and these two Japanese books you have here. This first one was published in 2009, and actually these are talking about my life story. I was actually a rape victim in 2002 by United States military servicemen who was stationed here in Japan. And I thought that I must have been the first rape victim here in Japan by United States military because it was never in the news. And then when I did some research, I was astonished to see how many crimes, how many rapes and murders of people had happened since the 1940s, of men, women, and small babies raped and murdered by United States military servicemen, especially in Okinawa. So after I did this research and found that, I started to speak out.
去年3月、ジェーンさんはサタン町で毎日毎晩も何年も死ぬまで私が忘れることできません。私たちの人生に値段つけることはできません。そして被害者が悪いということありません。
And I thought that talking about these human rights violations would be, the Japanese government would be very happy that I was helping. United States military would be happy because the United States military has a zero tolerance policy. But in fact, I realized that I was being followed by some kind of secret police for speaking out and breaking my silence. I realized when I went to go speak at speeches around Tokyo, there would be people wearing masks who would stand on the other side of the road and started filming us. Or police would be standing outside my house. Or people would come onto the train and with their phones stand in front of me, snap my photo and then run away. And as I had PTSD, obviously, this was causing me a lot of trauma and nightmares. And I would like to show you the first one. The first film that I actually do have video footage of is the one of the police or whatever he was in Okinawa. He's wearing black glasses, like a ski mask, all black clothes, and has his camera right up into my face. I mean, that really traumatized me, and I still have nightmares of seeing this man's face. So, and I often travel to Okinawa, so you can imagine my surprise when I am standing at the traffic light waiting for the light to change, and I see a man who has his camera here and is pointing it at me. So I thought, here we go again. I have another man filming me. So I went up to him and I said, hey, what are you doing? Why are you filming me? And so then you can see that he says, it's not about you, I'm filming somebody else. And he said, have a look, I'm filming this old man and old woman, and I'm a private detective.
さっきのじゃあ見せてください。撮ってないんだったら。
東京から来てるんですよ。この2人を撮ってるのでね、お姉さん今たまたまこっち視線に入ったからこっちを撮ってた。お姉さんこっち外れてたから。
じゃあ私のじゃないんですね。
ごめんね、勘違いした。違う。そう見とったらいいですかね。
I did not believe him, obviously. So I followed him a little bit to see what he was doing. Now, if this was true, if he was following somebody else, then I had gone to a restaurant to have dinner. He was waiting outside for me, sitting there waiting for me. So this also just happened when I'm just having just enjoying myself, going out for dinner. So then we have other occasions where I went on a vacation. I went to Shirahama Beach and I was enjoying eating fish and chips. So it was right by the beach side. I'm sort of like locked in here because there's a big wall. And then I realized, and maybe to the average person you might not notice what these secret police look like, but I've been watching them follow me for like over almost 2 decades. So I went up to them again and said, "Why are you here? Are you special security or something?" And the man answered and said, "He's police."
Ah, レッドブルの担当ですか？あ、何の担当？
警察。
ああ、わかりました。え？
日本で住まれてるんですか？
あ、そうだからなんかあったかな。
何もないです。
And so I actually had 3, it could have been 4 policemen secret police who were circling around me. And again, for what reason, I do not know. So these men in suits who follow me, this also causes me a lot of trauma. So, you know, I just don't understand why they keep on doing this to me. So in 2019, this year, in July, I went to the Human Rights Council in Geneva. Upon entering the Human Rights Council's building, I greeted the Japanese permanent members there, and I spoke to one of them, and he said, "You won't be speaking here." I was quite surprised at why he said that. He came over to where I was standing and started taking photos inside the Human Rights Council of the schedule. And I said to him, "Why are you taking photos of my schedule and the other schedules here? You didn't take it before. Now that my schedule is up there, why are you taking it?" And you see, in the Human Rights Council, it states here that please note that only UNOG accredited media are permitted to film and take photographs in the room. I actually did speak to the Japanese government a couple of days ago, and he stated, this man stated that Japan is allowed to take photos of the speakers' schedules. But I was told by the Human Rights Council liaison office on that day when I told them what was going on, that the Japanese government had the schedule in front of them in a computer. So it wasn't necessary to come over where I was standing and take photos like that, even though it states that they are not supposed to. The Japanese government said the Japanese government is allowed to take photos in there. So that was not the only thing that made me a little bit suspicious again, is that when we were in the lounge, my associates and I, Rob Kajiwara and other associates, every time we would enter the lounge, there would be some Japanese girl would come and sit close to us. I'm talking about right at the next table. And this room is very large, and there are not many Japanese women at the United Nations Council in Geneva. So it was very strange that a Japanese woman is going to sit right next to us. And so you can see in the photo how close she is sitting. And then in the next picture you can see that she is actually working for the Japanese government. The Japanese government, when I spoke to them a couple of days ago, said, "They're only interns. You know, they're not doing anything." But in my private time, to have Japanese government officials sitting so close to me that I could stretch out my hand and high-five her, I mean, why? Why do this to me? This is causing me so much trauma and PTSD. But I question, how can Japan become a member of the Security Council when it cannot take care of its women. You can see here in my scroll how many crimes have happened since the 1940s in Okinawa. These military crimes dating back to the 1940s. I'm talking about men who are trying to protect their wives from being raped, who are shot to death. Or in 1945, in June, 12 reported cases of the US military personnel, and the victim of 5 of those cases were men. This is not only a women's issue. This is happening to men, women, and children. And is this something of the past? No. This is happening in Japan today. I know and have worked with many cases of women who have been beaten to death in the streets, of women who have been raped, and the Japanese, they have to fight to get compensation for their therapy for P.T.S.D and their injuries that have happened to them. Lifelong injuries. Myself too. I continue to speak out, but the Japanese government is having me under surveillance for almost 2 decades, and this is not acceptable. And the government, who is intimidating human rights defenders like myself, must know that we will continue to stand strong, and we will continue to break our silence in order to eradicate rape. Thank you.